Chapter 328, Half Demon, Half Human. Yuer retracted her aura. The noble lady and the others could finally vent their anger. All of them were sweating profusely and were a little exhausted. When the rich lady heard Song Shi's question, she said indignantly, "Hey she's just a bastard. How can she have a father?" This further confirmed Song Shi's thoughts. He did not say anything else and looked at the girl's pure eyes. "Let's go out first, Yuer, ask about the ins and outs of their disappearance." As soon as he finished speaking, he waved his hand and instantly disappeared with the two women and the girl. Such a superb scene made the woman widen her eyes. So this young master is an expert. It's too perfect. She was also a cultivator and could tell that Song Shi's strength was definitely not simple. Yuer turned around and looked over. Everyone felt that a pair of huge snake eyes had appeared and they would fall into a hallucination in the future. In the restaurant's private room, purple smoke curled up from the incense burner, bringing with it a calming aura. On the bed, a 2- or 3-year-old girl was curled up and sleeping soundly. Song Bei covered Yaya with a blanket and tiptoed out of the room. Looking at Song Shi, who was standing by the railing, she revealed a relieved smile. Among her brothers, she liked 7th brother the most, but they rarely got together. Why didn't she go to Chang Sunja's family? Song Shi said. She did, but she was kicked out because she wasn't pregnant with a boy. Song Bei sighed, preferring boys over girls. Song Shi mocked, it also means that the virtuous Phoenix King doesn't care much about this profligate son. No wonder he was sent to Jinzu back then. I heard from father that the virtuous Phoenix King has more than 30 sons. That Chang Sunja's mother died long ago, and no one can say anything. In addition, Yaya is a girl, so second sister was kicked out of the house right after she went. They didn't acknowledge this child at all, so she could only give her the surname Song. Song Bei smiled bitterly. Her not-so-mature face revealed a complicated expression that only adults had. It was obvious that he had experienced all kinds of worldly wisdom over the years. She didn't find another man? Song Shi was curious. With Song Jia's qualities, it shouldn't be difficult for her to find a man to take over. She did, but they were unlucky. They all died in the conflict between Jinzu and the demonic sect. Song Shi was caught between laughter and tears. She has good taste. As for you, back then, she wanted to feed you to evil spirits. Didn't you hate her? Why did you help her take care of her child? I don't hate you. Bei was the most useless at that time. If I let the evil spirit eat me and let you guys live, Bei will be very happy in the underworld. Song Bai's eyes lit up as she spoke seriously. What a silly child. Song Shi stroked Song Bai's head helplessly. You're just like your mother. You're obedient. Even if something happens, you'll take responsibility for it. Song Bei thought of her mother. Mother said that a family is still a family. We have to understand each other to be harmonious. Song Shi felt that he had been taught a lesson by this girl. He was very unhappy with Song Jia and could not stand people like Song Hai who caused trouble and did not take responsibility. He did not discourage Song Bei. It was a good thing that this girl had her own thoughts. Well said, but one has to be selfish. Not everyone can forgive you. Song Shi stroked his sister's hair. Especially you. Sometimes you'll be at a disadvantage if you're too kind. Also, remember, you're very useful. Yes, thank you, brother. Song Bei smiled brightly. Without saying anything else, Song Shi looked outside and thought about the shattered Song family. Perhaps this girl was one of the few human treasure in the Song family. Come, watch the sunset with me for a while. Song Shi put his arm around Song Bai's shoulder. The latter obediently leaned against him and enjoyed this moment of rare peace. He checked Song Bai's situation. This girl did not have a spiritual root, but she was practicing martial arts. However, she had just entered the beginner realm. This ability could only be considered to strengthen her body. She would not even be able to deal with beasts at all. This girl is too kind. Should I push her onto the path of cultivation? Song Shi pondered. He had a lot of treasures. Even if Song Bei practiced martial arts, he could help her improve very quickly. However, the stronger one was, the more complicated the things one would come into contact with. Without enough experience, improving might not be a good thing. Husband, I've prepared some food. Sister Bei must be hungry. Why don't we let her eat some? Bai Zhaoqin came over silently and spoke softly. You're still the most meticulous. I've already abstained from eating. It's fine if I don't eat. Bei is still growing. She can't go hungry. Song Shi patted his head. Let's go, Bei, let's eat first. A moment later, Song Shi's heart ached when he saw Bei eating and drinking in big mouthfuls. He was living a good life, but his sister, who was precious to him, was suffering here. It was a stark contrast. Bei, eat slowly, there's more. Bai Zhaoqin handed him a glass of water and was a little angry. The Li family doesn't even give you enough food? No, it's just that these are too delicious. Song Bei was a little embarrassed. Song Shi turned around and walked out of the room. A white figure landed beside him. How's the situation? I asked clearly. It was Jinzu who was secretly cooperating with the demonic sects. Song Hu was bewitched by a woman from the Sky Demon cult and left the city without a trace. Later, your father and the others who went to investigate also never returned. Bai Yuer told him the information she didn't know before. The location of the accident was an abandoned mine outside the city. Now that it has become a forbidden area, ordinary people don't dare to approach it. The cultivators of the Jin province have been at a disadvantage a few times, so they don't dare to act rashly. I'll go take a look. Stay here and guard them. Song Shi was afraid that it was some scheme against him. After all, in the great Qian Imperial City, he had revealed a portion of his identity. At least Princess Wuxia and the others knew about his relationship with the Song family. Yes, young master, be careful. This is the map of Jinzu. Bai Yuer handed him a silk scroll. You're very diligent. Song Shi nodded and left with the scroll. Jinzu was located in a mountainous area with many mines, hence its name. This abandoned mine was hundreds of miles away from the Jinzu prefecture. When he arrived at the mine, the sky was already dark. The huge mines between the mountains looked dark. When the mountain wind blew, there was a strange whining sound, like the low cries of evil spirits. Song Shi's thoughts quickly swept across. He passed through a portion of the mine, but when he went deeper, he was stopped by the array formation power. There's indeed something strange. Ripples appeared in the space under his feet. In a flash, he landed outside the largest mine and calmly walked in. A faint stench wafted out with the wind. Song Shi's eyes lit up as the darkness in the cave was penetrated. Bam! Golden flames emerged and floated around his body, forming a circle. Under the light, white bones appeared under his feet. Song Shi's subtlety noticed that there were teeth marks on the white bones, as if they had been bitten by wild beasts. Howl! After a few steps, the light he released attracted something in the darkness. A black shadow opened its bloody mouth and pounced. With a thought from Song Shi, the latter froze in midair but maintained his pouncing posture. However, Song Shi revealed a look of surprise. The person who attacked him was not a human or a vicious beast, but a monster with a human body and a bear head. This monster's lower body was similar to a human's, but its entire body was covered in black fur. There was a scar on its bare head, cutting off half of its face and one of its ears. It looked especially ferocious. Half demon, half human, Song Shi frowned. Could his father and the rest have been pulled to create such a monster?